So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's nice to be back in the synagogue. I just noticed as I was putting my things together for today's service that I actually hadn't been in here since December because my notes were in the Siddur from the December service that I led. So, it's a beautiful day, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a nice service together. We'll be beginning on page 112 with Ma Tovu. Eternal God, a mystery surrounds my life. What came before it and what lies beyond it are shrouded in darkness. But in the darkness is your presence, and in the mystery, your love. No mind can grasp the splendor of your being, no tongue express the majesty of your works. Yet there are times when we sense a reality that is beyond our mortal sight. May this Shabbat be such a time for us. Help us to hear your voice and find your image in our souls and be at peace. And on the top of page 113, we join in Elohai Neshama. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. Elohai Neshama, Shenatah bi Torah. Elohai Neshama, Shenatah bi Torah. Sometimes I think one of the hardest things we do is to be able to remember that we really are inherently good and that our souls are pure. We praise you, O God, in whose hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. We turn to page 130 as we continue our preparatory prayers. And we read from Micah, the prophet Micah, on page 130. And I think Vince and I are going to do this responsively, aren't we? Since there's only the two of us up here. And the rest of you aren't allowed to do anything but read very quietly. With what shall I approach the Eternal One?
How shall I worship the God of heaven?
Shall I come before God with burnt offerings?
Or with yearling calves?
Will God be pleased with thousands of rams?
Or with 10,000 rivers of oil?
Should I give my firstborn for my transgressions?
The fruit of my body for the sins of my soul?
People tell you what is good. But what does the Eternal One require of you?
Only to do justly and love mercy and walk humbly with your God.
These are actions which bring benefit here and now, but whose full value can be measured only in the light of eternity. Honoring one's father and mother, acts of love and kindness, diligent pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, hospitality to strangers, visiting the sick, enabling bride and groom to rejoice, and bride and groom and groom, consoling the bereaved, praying with sincerity, and making peace where there is strife, and the study of Torah leads to them all. And on the top of page 132, Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, ha'mechulal b'fi amo, משובח ומפואר בלשון חסידיו ויעבדיו, בשבחות וזמירות נגדל לך ונמליכך, מלכנו יחיד חי העולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מחולל בתשבחות. And we continue with Psalm 33. Again, we're going to do this responsively. Sing for joy to the Eternal One, you who are righteous.
For the upright do well to give praise.
Give thanks to the Eternal One with the lyre.
Make music to God with a 10-stringed harp.
Sing to God a new song.
Play well with shouts of joy.
For God's word holds good.
God's every deed is done in faithfulness.
The Eternal One loves righteousness and justice.
The earth is full of God's kindness.
By the Eternal One's word the heavens were made.
And all their host by the breath of God's mouth.
At the divine command the ocean waves rise.
Or gather instead in the vaults of the deep.
Let all the earth revere the Eternal One.
Let all who dwell there stand in awe of God.
Who spoke, and it was.
Who commanded, and it stood firm.
And on page 134, Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, Bakasho, Hallelujah, Bakiauzo, Hallelujah, Bigorota, Hallelujah, Karov Gurlo, Kohen Shamata, Hallelujah, 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 Kohen Shamata, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 take a show.
finished the preparatory bit of the service, the part that sort of gets us ready and warmed up. We begin now with the more formal part as we rise on page 135, Vayishtabach, leading into the Baruch Hu, the formal call for public worship. No, Yishtabach, there. Don't get too in a hurry. Yishtabach Shemcha La'ad Malkeinu, Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VaHaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Ki Lacha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei Avotenu, Shiru Shvacha Halel V'Zimra, Barachot V'Hodaot, Me'ata V'Ad Olam, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaBocher B'Shirei Zimra. Resume our seats. The next two prayers, the first of these prayers is really all about the cycle of time and how the world sort of works together, light, darkness. And in lieu of the prayer that's written on your page, I'm going to use instead a prayer written by my friend and colleague, Rabbi Mark Solomon. You form light and create darkness. That's how it begins. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvarei hoshach. You form light and create darkness. As time is a tapestry of day and night, our lives are a weaving of light and dark. Like a slow dawn, we discover who we are. Like twilight, we linger in doubt and anxiety. We endure nights of rejection by others and ourselves, and bright days of acceptance and joy in who we are. Oseh shalom uvarei hakol. You make peace and create everything. We look around and see a world of endless change and diversity. As we rejoice in the variety of creation, we come to accept our own uniqueness. As we delight in our own uniqueness, we appreciate all human diversity and live at peace with ourselves and with all creation. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Second prayer is all about love. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. And we rise for the Shema.
when you lie down, when you rise up, bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Ani Adonai Elohim, I am your God.
We can resume our seats now, and we continue with Lema'an.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Good and beautiful and true, sound, established, and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. Continue on the bottom of page 139 with Tzur Yisrael.
O Israel, O my God Israel, Eloheinu, Adonai Tzod Shemo, Kadosh Israel, Baruch atah Adonai, God Israel, God Israel.
top of page 140, we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai, sefatai leftach, ufi agite ilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imachot, v'Mevi Gula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo b'Achava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Machayei Metim Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Marshiv Haruach u'Morid HaGeshem, Mazriach HaShemesh u'Morid HaTal. And in the middle of 141 from Mechakel.
Mechalchel chayim b'chesed, Mechayei metim b'rachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, L'shem me'achar. Mechamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit umachayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua.
V'ne'amanata l'chachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Hashem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad naviecha, al yad naviecha. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavaot, Eloh haaretz, kevodo.
Kevodo malei olam.
Baruch kavod Adonai mimkomo.
V'mkomecha malkeinu tofia, v'timloch aleinu, ki machakim anachnu lach.
Yimloch Adonai leolam, v'chayik Zion, Ador, Ador, Hallelujah. Ador,
Baruch Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. And we resume our seats. We're on the bottom of page 142. You inspired our ancestors. You are allowed to read aloud quietly with me, but that's it. You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good.
A new tune for Yismachu. It's one that emphasizes the delight and joy aspect of Shabbat. Yismachu b'malchut ha'Acharei Shabbat. Yismachu b'malchut ha'Acharei Shabbat. B'korei oneg, b'korei oneg. Yismachu b'malchut ha'Acharei Shabbat.
Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts. And may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. And on the top of page 144 for Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu, Ha'amcha Yisrael. Israel, Amecha.
We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you are the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
Sim shalom tova ubracha, sim shalom tova ubracha, ein v'chesed v'rachamim. Sim shalom tova ubracha, sim shalom tova ubracha, ein v'chesed v'rachamim.
We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom. Take some time now for our own silent prayers, our own thoughts, as we think perhaps about the week past, what we hope for the week coming, or anything else, really.
Il razzonem refi, il razzonem refi, vegion levi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom b'broma. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Oh, Israel. Oh, Yoshvei Tevel.
We continue now with our Torah service, and you'll find that on page 490. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One, your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of this Torah, and that their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere the Eternal One, your God.
V'ha'erneinu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachel leveinu li'ahava u'yira et shemecha.
We're wrestling. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Gadol Shemo.
Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo Yachtav.
Echad Adonai Agadol Abagavor Abatiperet V'anetzach V'hahor Ki kol b'shamayim u'aretz Ki kol b'shamayim u'aretz Echad Adonai Amamlecha v'amitnaseh L'chol v'rosh.
You have a lot of stuff there.
Yep.
There's a table over there. Use it.
Shall I find it?
It's right there. So today's Torah portion is from Leviticus, and it's what's commonly called the Holiness Code.
I don't see it.
Get your yard. Are you starting there, I think?
No.
No, you're not. That's the beginning of the portion. There?
No.
What's your first word? Okay. Have you got your sheet that tells us where it is?
I'll get it.
It should be somewhere in this column, because I found the beginning of it, but because he's reading and
The line ends in
et. Yes, there you go. So it's uvkut shachem.
I'm coming.
Good. So, as I was saying, you will find what Vince is reading. It's Leviticus chapter 19, verses 8, 9. Where are you starting?
Chapter 19.
Chapter 19.
Starting at verse 9 and going through to 18.
Okay, so verses 9 through 18. And I think that's all you need to know. And now I've lost it again.
The line ends in
There.
et.
There you go. he'll get there. He'll get around to calling me up.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find his translation for him and put it on the table over there next to him so he can see it. And I need my Siddur because I need to know the blessing. I need to know the blessing.
I think we'll start with the English translation before I call Janet to the Torah. English translation coming from a women's commentary on the Torah, which is in much more modern language than some others. Starting at verse 9. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I, the Eternal, am your God. You shall not steal. You shall not deal deceitfully or falsely with one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, so profaning the name of your God. I am the Eternal. You shall not defraud your fellow. You shall not commit robbery. The wages of a labourer shall not remain with you